Bill Freese is on the line with us right now. He's a science policy analyst with the Center for Food Safety. Center for FOR, foodsafety.org is the website, and the Twitter handle is CFS True Food. And Bill, welcome back to the program. Monsanto appears to be making, the Biden EPA and Monsanto and Roundup, there's something going on here. Tell us about it.
Yeah, okay, well, it's kind of a long story, and it began over 10 years ago in 2009, and basically the EPA is supposed to review every pesticide every 15 years, right? So glyphosate's turn came up in 2009.
Isn't glyphosate an herbicide, not a pesticide?
Yeah, sorry, but pesticide is a blanket term that
includes herbicides.
Weed killers as well.
Yeah. Forgive the interruption.
Oh, no, that's okay. So anyway, this is, so EPA began this comprehensive review of glyphosate in 2009. This usually takes about 5 years. It's a long process, but they still haven't completed it, right? And basically they're supposed to take account of new science, look at whatever new laws and regulations have been passed, and then make a decision on whether, the pesticide should be continued. There should be perhaps restrictions put on its use, whatever, based on, this review. So anyway, they were dragging their feet tremendously, and they finally came out with an interim decision early last year in 2020, and we sued. This was basically their big approval of glyphosate, and we sued them. And so this was all, that was under Trump's EPA. And then when the Biden administration came in, they decided they needed to take a look at all of the litigation against the government that was, underway at that time, as you can imagine, given some of the things that the Trump administration has done. And on glyphosate, unfortunately, they chose to, continue to litigate. So that lawsuit is ongoing. And what they did just recently, to bring us up to date here, is they asked the court in our case, right? We're suing the EPA saying glyphosate is bad news. It's bad news for farmers' health. It can cause cancer, right? That's been well established. And it's also causes a lot of ecological harm. Endangered species are imperiled, and there are also a lot of costs. Like glyphosate-resistant weeds are a tremendous problem for farmers.
Glyphosate, by the way, if you're not familiar with exactly what it is, it's an herbicide. It kills weeds, right? Kills plants, broadleaf plants, and it's sold under the brand name Roundup. And there was a massive lawsuit against Bayer, which makes and sells it, just a while ago, saying that it causes cancer, showing studies that it causes cancer. There are also some fascinating studies suggesting that glyphosate may even be, a principal cause of celiac disease by virtue of it basically altering or changing our intestinal flora. And there are some who are speculating that our gut flora is also one of the things that regulates obesity in the United States. Now, I haven't seen any specific, science or literature on this. Well, Bill is back with us. Bill Freese is back with us. So, Bill, you were talking about the EPA is basically still going along with Monsanto. Is that to boil it down? Is that basically what's going on?
Yeah, they seem to want to get the court to give them the opportunity to redo some of their assessments. And in our view, they're doing this because they want to be able to try to better defend themselves in court.
Is this
not because they want to make any, beneficial changes to either, cancel registrations or reduce rates or have restrictions.
One of the things that we see every time we have a Republican administration, we saw this with the Reagan administration, we saw this with both Bush administrations, and we certainly saw it with the Trump administration, is that they stack regulatory agencies with scientists, or in the case of Trump, just open lobbyists, put them in charge of these administrations and bury in their management and leadership hierarchy basically toadies for the industry that are being regulated. Ajit Pai over at the FCC, former Verizon lawyer, for example. Is that what's going on here? Is EPA still filled with Trumpists, with Trump humping science deniers, or is this are they regular scientists who are hoping to get a job at Monsanto? I mean, what's going on? Why are they doing this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And, there might not be one simple answer, but it's interesting that you mentioned this because in the Trump EPA, you're exactly right. The pesticide division was filled with industry people who the Biden administration has even admitted, interfered in the science with certain pesticide decisions. Now, they don't admit that with this glyphosate registration, but they do with another dicamba that we've been involved in and I think that we spoke of on a
yes.
previous call. So, they even, identified the officials. There were 3 of them, senior level people, like assistant deputy administrator level, right, for the EPA. Mm-hmm. And so what's remarkable is, that they've admitted that, and now they're
those people
making
are gone
a big
now,
show
right?
of scientific. Pardon?
Those people, these industry shills are gone now from the EPA, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay.
They're gone. Yeah, so, that's good. That, we should, be thankful for that. But the EPA now is making a big show of scientific integrity, and yet, in the case of this other herbicide that's caused all this drift damage, dicamba, that, they've stood behind the Trump's administration's latest approval of that herbicide. And here with glyphosate, they're sticking with their denial of, glyphosate's cancer risk, which has been, found by the international authorities on cancer, the International Agency for Research on Cancer.
And let's be very clear, glyphosate is in virtually all of our food, is it not?
The residues of glyphosate, they're very widespread because the herbicide is used on so many different crops.
Has there been? Go ahead.
It varies quite a bit.
Has there been any further research on the work that Stephanie Seneff and Anthony Samsel did about glyphosate and gluten intolerance, for example? We started putting glyphosate on wheat, and all of a sudden there's this explosion of what looks like celiac disease or other non-cancer conditions.
Yeah, I think the cancer connection is the most solid one.
Right.
I think, unfortunately, there are some researchers out there who are kind of relying on correlation a lot that you can't really use to show that a chemical causes harm. So there's been a lot of stuff. I think cancer is good, and there's also good evidence that glyphosate is harmful, like to the liver and the kidney, which kind of makes sense because they're detoxification organs, right?
So Bill, we have 20 seconds. Where are we at with this, and how can Americans interject themselves as activists if they want to see this stuff seriously regulated?
Yeah, well, please come to our website. We're always getting our members involved and, join, Center for Food Safety. And we'll give you action alerts and kind of help inform you about the issues.
Great.
So you can take
that's
action.
A great place to start. Centerforfoodsafety.org is the website.